Welcome to the Aesthetic Doctor Podcast. We don't shy away and keep secrets here. We empower you with education, telling you the truth about all things aesthetic medicine while encouraging you to be the best version of yourself. It's time to look great and feel good doing it. This is your host, mom, speaker, and board-certified physician, Dr. Judith Borger.
This is Dr. Borger, and I'm so excited to welcome you to the first ever episode of the Aesthetic Doctor Podcast. I have been dreaming of doing this podcast for a little while now. I think it's just going to be amazing to be able to really talk about all things aesthetic medicine, have some fun, learn some things, and really essentially make sure that we all get to live our most glorious, best lives. What can you expect from this podcast? Well, as the slogan says, it's going to be the truth about all things aesthetics. When I look around, there's a lot of misinformation in the world of aesthetics, and people get their information from incredibly unreliable sources like people doing TikTok dances, Instagram reels, or people that have a lot of financial sort of incentives and gain in mind, meaning somebody wants to sell you something and they're the ones that give you the information. I think there's really just this need out there for people to have real, truthful, honest information so that if and when they decide to want to undergo some procedures, look into maybe rejuvenating, look into looking less tired, they know where to go and they ultimately have the best outcomes because they choose procedures that are right for them. They understand the benefits, they understand the limitations, and they really understand also what's out there and what's possible. So I'm going to really tell you the truth about all things aesthetic. I think it's really important that people have real, honest, scientific information about all the different procedures, options, opportunities that are out there, but also know what's going to work, what's not going to work, what's going to address what, how long it lasts, what should it do, what is it good for, all those things. Unfortunately, in today's day and age, so many people get their information from incredibly unreliable sources. TikTok dances, Instagram reels, or everybody who's a paid influencer or who's trying to sell you a product. What I'm going to do is really use my expertise as a board-certified physician to study the procedures, to read the research, to look at the good, the bad, the benefits, the adverse outcomes. I am an aesthetic medicine practitioner. What does that mean? I do non-surgical aesthetics. I have an aesthetic medicine practice. It's called Concierge Medical Arts. I love my practice. It's in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and I do what I call non-surgical aesthetics, meaning all the stuff you can get outside of an operating room. I do things like Botox, and when I use the word Botox, I am a licensed practitioner of Botox by Allergan, but I use it generically also to encompass the neurotoxins such as Dysport, Xeomin. And I do dermal fillers, I do lasers, I do RF microneedling, we do medical grade skincare, we do all the things, and we can talk about that more in a future episode. But really, I have the real life experience. I'm a practitioner. I have had thousands of patients. I do it frequently. And I'm a physician, so I can read the research. I can break it down for you into a sort of easy to digest, user-friendly format. So that is really what you're going to get. So when you venture into the world of aesthetics, or maybe you're already getting aesthetic services and you just want to be a better informed consumer, or like me, you just love this stuff, then you're going to be well equipped, well prepared. You're going to be familiar with the language. There are some people out there who say, well, this is all so superficial. And you know what? To them, I say that's bullshit. It matters. And the reason why it matters is because this is what we present to the world. When I step out into the world and I feel good about myself, I feel confident about myself, I show up as the best version of myself. On the other hand, if I look in the mirror and I go, oh man, I look tired, I have wrinkles, all this stuff, that's how I show up. And I want you all to show up as the best versions of themselves. How much or how little you do doesn't matter to me. Because you know what? There's certain of the little wrinkles that I like that I'm not going to do anything about. There's other ones that I'm like, oh, this just makes me look old and tired. No. So wherever you are, you might just be thinking about it. You might be getting it. You might be a diehard believer, or even you might be one of those people who says, oh my God, this is not for me. Then, well, good for you. Regardless, good for you, because this is about you. This is not about me. This is about giving you the opportunity to be your best self. And that is really what I want you to do, my friends. I want you to be your most glorious, badass, sparkly, and empowered selves. And you know what? If a little bit of Botox makes you get up in the morning and say, look at that smooth forehead and how that powder sits, then that is what you should do. That is what I do. If I think my lipstick looks just so much more amazing with a little bit of perfectly placed lip filler, which I think it does, then that is what I should do, and that is what I encourage you to do. So, you know what? Just rise above the haters and really be your best you, because you are worth it. You are worth it without the stuff, and you are worth it with the stuff. But for those of us who make the choice to, just like people buy fitting clothes, just like people get their hair done, just like people get their nails done, make sure we have good skincare, make sure we have a little bit of Botox, make sure we have a little filler when we need it, make sure to get our facials, etc., so that our face looks amazing. This podcast is for you, my friends. Because I understand and I know this stuff is important. And by the way, there's studies out there that say that Botox has the same effect as a little bit of low-dose Prozac in terms of starving off depression, because it's all about this. It's about showing up as your best self into the world. And if you show up as your best self into the world, this is how the world shows up back to you, and that is how your life is. That is how you live your life. So anyway, that is my whole mission. I want you to be your most empowered selves. I want you to be your most glorious selves. And I want you to be your most educated selves. So when you take those hard-earned dollars or whatever currency you pay with and you choose to spend it, you can spend it wisely. You can use the power of your money and you can purchase the stuff that is safe, that is effective, and that is the best for you. So there you have it. Hence, the aesthetic doctor, and that is me. So, what can you expect? We are obviously going to talk about some procedures. We're going to start with some of the most common procedures, sort of bread and butter stuff. Probably start with the neurotoxins, talk about some fillers, talk about some lasers. Other than that, as I said, I personally do non-surgical aesthetics. So there's procedures that we're going to learn about together, and who to learn from better than the experts. So I'm going to bring in some experts. For example, we're going to bring in a oculoplastic surgeon, and we're going to ask her about all the things to do with blepharoplasties, so that if it's something we've heard about, we're not considering, whatever, we know about it. Knowledge is power, my friends. And I want you to be powerful and show up in this world in a powerful way. So I'm going to tell you about procedures. We're going to talk to experts. And lastly, I'm going to answer any and all questions you may have. The best way to find me is on my website, theaestheticdoctor.com. Please subscribe to the podcast. Please tell your friends about the podcast. Rate us. Love us. Be part of our tribe. But if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. So these are kind of the three main segments that the aesthetic doctor is going to consist of. I'm so excited for this. I think it's going to be fantastic. I think we're going to learn. We're going to have fun. This is not like boring, blah, blah, blah. This is going to be fun. This is going to be entertaining. But at the same time, it's going to be real, scientific, evidence-based stuff broken down to you. And I'm going to tell you all about it. Please subscribe. I can't wait to see you next time. Have a fabulous, fabulous week, my friends. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Aesthetic Doctor Podcast with Dr. Judith Borger. We'd love to connect with you outside of the show. Follow Dr. Borger on Instagram at Dr. Borger and find more online and ways to work with Dr. Borger at www.theaestheticdoctor.com. Until next time, be well.